Hey guys, and welcome back to our Dragon Ball Daima reviews. This time, episode 18, Awakening. I'm gonna get right to it. Super Saiyan 4. It's back. I'm assuming that's what we're calling it. Dragon Ball Wiki already listed as that. Everyone else on the internet's calling it that. It's Super Saiyan 4. Now, I'm gonna be the first to say it. I was wrong. I've spent more than enough time not thinking this was gonna happen. Thinking that Toriyama wasn't gonna bring it back, because it just doesn't make sense to bring it back. But it happened. Before we get into the episode breakdown, I'm going to take a minute to address how this form can fit into the timeline. There are two options here. Option A, Dragon Ball Daima is canon. Option B, Dragon Ball Daima is not canon. If Dragon Ball Daima is canon, there's only really one way that I can think of. Mind you, I'm not Toriyama, but only one way I can think of to make it work and still not break Super. The only way Super Saiyan 4 works in canon is that it does not leave the demon realm. And what I mean by that is pretty literal. Goku must only be able to use it in the demon realm, and probably only when Neva is around. Otherwise it just breaks canon. It just doesn't make sense that something so powerful he'd never use again. Super Saiyan 4 obviously league stronger than Super Saiyan 3, just from what we saw. But also, it begs the question, why didn't Goku whip that out when Beerus showed up? Or when literally anything else happened after the end of Daima? Same thing could be applied with Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3, but with him, it's probably more likely that, again, I've said this, he didn't want to use it, just like how he didn't even use it in this fight. It has to be a temporary transformation. Now, it doesn't have to be, obviously, it's fiction, the rules are whatever they say they are, but it just to keep things consistent, that's just how it has to be. And if Goku can end up using it at the end of Daima outside the demon realm, it's just going to make things complicated. We already have people complaining about how Supreme Kai, or should I say Nahare, and Kibito defused earlier than Super, which was already something we had to give Daima as a flexibility versus Super. But if Super Saiyan 4 exists outside the demon realm, it's just going to make even more headaches. And if that is the case, we might have to treat Daima as not canon. I don't want to do that. I really hope they really do Super Saiyan 4 its due, and let it be its cool thing, because let me remind you, I don't hate GT. GT has issues, Super has issues. Every work of fiction has issues in some way. But we have to agree that it does not make sense for it to leave Daima. I know I've said that multiple times. It's just how it is. The implementation of it, interesting. Let's get into it a little. So, Goku and everyone was struggling against King Goma with the third eye. Even Super Saiyan 3. He was putting up a good fight, he was actually landing punches, and then Ku decided to give Do a cookie, which made him power up. Mind you, I think this is more like a mental thing. Maybe the cookie actually gave him energy, but I doubt it was enough. I think it was more of a mental, I ate a cookie, I can get stronger. And so he powered himself up. Ku was very blatant that it was a power-up, but I don't know. Anyways, he mimicked Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Obviously, Do isn't Saiyan, but when he powered up, he was looking at Goku, thinking of Goku, fighting with Goku, and so he mimicked it, and I think it's funny, and heck, it might even be a reference. To anyone who knows Toriyama's works outside of Dragon Ball, well, technically this is still inside of Dragon Ball, he did a manga called Neko Majin, where the main character was magical. Majin, Neko, he's a magic cat. And he could basically mimic anything. I believe he mimicked Super Saiyan. Do might be doing something similar with magic where he was mimicking Goku and also powering himself up at the same time. Who knows? We don't know what it is. We'll see. Anyways, the two of them get their butt kicked. Do loses his temporary power-up. And Goku's about to get his ass supremely whooped by Goma. Then Neva shows up, and he stands over Goku and shoots a little magical beam at him. And, it wasn't explained what this is. There was no context of it whatsoever, outside of the context of the show showing Neva to be a very strong magician. Between powering up the Tamagamis, removing the barriers between the demon worlds, and just all his magic, he's shown high-level magic craziness. And, we're just going to have to give it to him and say that he gave Goku a magical demon energy-based boost, which created a quote-unquote demon-like form for a Saiyan, which is probably how Super Saiyan 4 is going to be rationalized. It is a Daima Demon Realm exclusive transformation using magic energy and Demon Realm influence. Let's talk about the design of this new Super Saiyan 4. They made some changes. The eyes and the hair, as well as the fur, are all red, all the same shade. It's like that reddish pink. So I think this version's a little more red than pink, but it did look very pink at some points. It's more consistent completely throughout, which is fine. It did throw me at first, but I don't hate it. What did throw me was there were some shots where his hands looked a little too big or too weird. I don't know. He grew a little bit. He was still in a kid body, but like it was more like a teenager body. I think that was calling back to how Super Saiyan 4 worked in GT, making Goku an adult again, but he didn't become an adult in this, obviously. He just looked a little bigger. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to analyze that scene where he gets shrunk back down to 4 to 3 to 1 and all that. But otherwise, it looks pretty solid. Transition between the fur to the skin from the forearm to the hands seemed a little weird, but whatever. He has the wrist guards, I think, so that breaks it up. There was some interesting design choices being made here. I don't know if Toriyama himself redesigned 4, or if this was someone else on the production staff, but it's good. I would make some tweaks personally, but you know, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying I know better than Toriyama. But yeah, overall, it looks cool. The rule of cool here, you know, they did not explain too much with how it works. And, you know, with the rule of cool, it's like, hey, if it looks cool and it works, who cares? Well, I care. And I'm sure other people care. GT fans, you won this round. I recede my statements. It was cool, and I'll probably never hear the end of this from all of you. And I'm sure it's gonna never end. That being said, again, still fun. Really cool seeing Goku kick butt, because once he went 4, he really just started thrashing Goma until Goma went giant. Which, the third eye, that is such a broken plot device. I don't know if you guys know, but in DC, Superman is as strong as he needs to be, more or less. You know, different rules for different continuities and versions of him, but that's how the writers usually go. He's as strong as he needs to be. I'm wondering if the third eye operates on a similar principle. Goma can just keep getting stronger the more he uses it, and the more power he unleashes. I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of drawback. They're going to have to beat Goma, obviously, in the next episode somehow. We'll see how that happens. You know, we got the fusion bug still, and Vegeta's there, so we might get a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how the powers have gotten off the rails in the last 2 episodes. Which is what we expected, because Daima was so laid back and low-key, and the finale was going to have to be this intense. I'll be honest with you guys, my first initial reaction to seeing Super Saiyan 4 wasn't a great one. And it's not that I, like, again, don't like Super Saiyan 4, I don't know. I had it so set in my mind that it wasn't going to happen that I was, like, flipping my shit that it actually was. And I was just, like, worried about the continuity of Dragon Ball going forward. But I've calmed down, and I'm okay with it. And we'll see where it goes. One thing I really liked, this Demon Realms version of Porunga. It's interesting that he didn't get, like, his own name. All the other dragons have had their own name besides Super Shenron, which is just Super Shenron. We could have gotten, like, Demon Porunga or something, or, like, Daima Porunga, literally anything. But it's literally just Porunga and his red, and he's got some blue accents, but that's definitely a callback to, what was it, not Omega Shenron, the Dark Shenron from GT. I don't remember his name, but Ultimate Shenron, was it? Yeah, it's definitely, this is such a GT adaptation into the canon, and I'm not angry about it, because it's being done right, as long as Super Saiyan 4, again, is not messed up. I'm sorry I'm hammering that to death, but it seems good, and I'm not really upset about any of it. I did love when Goma saw the dragon, and he knew that they were trying to be up to something. He went to freaking attack Porunga, and Porunga just flicked him away like it was nothing. You don't really see villains trying to attack the dragon. You see them trying to get the dragon. So it was really interesting to see that, and just to see how freaking powerful Porunga was. I don't know where these Dragon Balls lie in the scale of power. I would guess, you know, it logically makes sense that the Earth Dragon Balls are probably the weakest, follow that by the Namekian Dragon Balls, then the Demon Realm Dragon Balls, and then of course the Super Dragon Balls. I don't know where the other Dragon Balls from the Super manga falls. Maybe in between Demon Realm and Porunga? I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, it's interesting to see. We've got like a Dragon Ball set for every single series. Anyways, Goma attacking the dragon was great, and him getting flicked away like that with nothing was great. They tried to build tension as to what Gloria was going to wish for. He obviously is following Arinsu for one reason. Maybe she promised him power, or money, or wealth, or has his family captive, or there's some reason why she's listening to her. Maybe we'll never get that explained, because we sure as hell haven't had it explained now. But with the memory and all the flashbacks, it's quite clear that he's not going to wish for her to become powerful. After fighting with Goku and all of the memories he has with them that he clearly saw, he probably wished for them to be turned back, or something, a good positive wish for the good guys. Arinsu's probably going to lose her shit, but who cares? She's not seemingly powerful. I can only imagine how crazy the internet's going. I didn't really look at much today because I was just busy and I wanted to view this by myself without any influence from the internet, and I didn't get spoiled, which I got lucky that I didn't get spoiled, because I'm betting this is everywhere. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next episode. I honestly can't say I think I know where it's going. I thought I did, but I was very wrong. It was a little... The fact that it was too predictable was the reason why I didn't predict it. Because, if you thought about it, really, from the beginning, that this was just a GT remake, Super Saiyan 4 would have probably been the natural conclusion. A bunch of people went there and said that. I thought it was going to be more of its own thing, which is fine. It's still its own thing, but we'll either get Fusion next episode or something. We'll see. All cards are on the table. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how they're going to wrap this up. Hopefully, I don't go crazy when this does, because if they don't wrap it up a certain way, my brain won't be able to handle it. I'm being completely honest. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Have fun and enjoy Super Saiyan 4.